One of the reasons that we're never going to be able to have a steady, actually maybe now we can. Because Activision is now owned by Xbox. So if Xbox wanted to, they could, in theory, say, hey, going forward, competitive Call of Duty is going to be played on Xbox again. And the reason that we're doing this is because we are going to be able, we're going to go away with the CDL. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be, now don't get me wrong, this isn't just something that owners are just going to be like, yeah, let's do that. No. There's something that needs to be fixed first before we agree to something like that. But the reason that we don't have open tournaments like that anymore is because think about the amount of computers and the amount of updates and like let me see. I don't want to call Adam Apicella right now, but I think that he's got a very, very good perspective. I think that he's got a very good perspective, and even Benjay can give you some insight as to why. Back in the day, we used to be able to just bring boxes of PlayStations, boxes of Xbox to allow for 400 teams to compete. Imagine 400. I mean, think about the amount of weight disparity between an Xbox and a PC. Well, it gives new players who don't even know about it because they don't live in the US or has connections. Hey, JPH, we don't have a working product right now, JPH. And please forgive my tone. I'm just speaking. With a tone, I know, I get it, but I'm just, it's just a show. We don't have a working product right now. We need to fix our own stuff right now. We need to put our oxygen mask first before we can put an oxygen mask next to the kid next to you. We gotta fix what we have right now in order to be able to help anything else. You're on the call segment with HecZ. Yo, you know what? We should do a call segment. Next week, we're gonna do call segments, period. In fact, what if we do #AskHecZ, you record a selfie video, you tweet it at me, I bring it up, somebody needs to screen them though ahead of time. I don't want to get fucking pranked again by the basketball and the sound of the swoosh. You will not believe what this player said to his coach after the match. Turn the volume up so that you can hear it. Oh, yeah, come on. Pedicakes, exactly. Right marketing in professional sports, not just esports, is a huge deal. Imagine living your dream, playing professional Call of Duty and bitching that you have to stream and grow your fan base. Listen, people are going to bitch just because I bitch nonstop. I'm a complainer, okay? It's not even a thing, okay? Period. What sucks is that we were born in a period of building. You know what I'm saying? Of building. What's going to happen in the future, call it 10, 15 years ago. I mean, you see it right now in other esports where people people who don't create content traditionally, OpTic and Call of Duty, we had to because we came a little bit late to the esports party. Yes, surely some Call of Duty organizations became bigger than all the other organizations that have been around for a long time. Surely. Shout out the Green Wall. Everyone is going to feel a certain way about having to create content because as a professional, you don't have to do that. Your job should only be to show up, play your fucking video game, win your video game, and get praised for winning the video game. That's not the reality of things, certainly not the reality of things in Call of Duty. We aren't that big yet, okay? We could get there. It's just a matter of more work. The problem is that we have to build the audience, and the only way to build an audience right now is to try your best to garner the audience by entertaining them outside of Call of Duty, so that when you entertain them, they become fans of you because they get to know you. Essentially, it's not even about fandom. It's about supporting somebody that you know. Okay, it's not even about fandom. It's about supporting something that you believe in, something. But if you don't get to know the players, why the fuck would you support them? If you don't know their name, why the fuck would you support them? If you don't know their name beyond their screen name, why would you support them? Because they're attached to a city? Okay, fine. But that's not going to be the solution. That's not the right pill to take for this sickness. I just feel like it's such an opportunity to invest in yourself for what you can pay. Yeah, Scump is a perfect example. He did the hard work, and now he gets to do what he wants. Man, it is a thing that I've been screaming since 2009. It is nothing new. Anybody that creates content now is barely creating content, and people regret it in the end, right? People that they get dropped from teams and then they say, all right, listen, or I'm retiring, I'm gonna become a streamer now. Like the short-sightedness of that is like you should be working. I'm not calling out any particular pro player here. I'm just speaking in theory, okay? Hector plays for OpTic. HecZ is not the best player on OpTic. He's dispensable on OpTic. But HecZ is creating content that showcases his friends around him. He brings some behind the scenes as to what it was like to be behind the scenes in a particular case. Okay, so you start to work, right? You're putting in that work. You don't get that many views at first, but you know, you're starting, and little by little, people find your channel and they're like, oh shit, this is behind the scenes shit that happens at OpTic. All right, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this. And then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, I get dropped. I get dropped completely from the team. I'm no longer on OpTic. Okay. Hopefully, some of the people that were with me during those days at OpTic are gonna continue to follow me onto my next journey, which is no longer competitive Call of Duty, and it is now seriously sitting here yapping for 3 hours. Do you know how much harder that would have been if I just got dropped and I never worked on that little bit of thing? And now that I really need for this thing to be the thing that feeds me, that feeds my family in some cases, it's just tougher. And you're no longer being fucking promoted or advertised on a bigger platform as you would if you were on any particular team on any given Sunday, if you make it to championship or if you don't. Does Shotzzy's contract end this year? And if so, would you let him walk, or are you gonna do your best to make him your new scump? No one's gonna be a new scump the way that no one's gonna be a new Shotzzy the way there's nobody. That doesn't exist. It's not. Okay, Shotzzy is here to stay for as long as he wants to stay here. I fucking love the kid. OpTic is a friendship team. Period. And what? Okay, so long story short. I listen, we're also working on, like, when you come into my orbit, we're not just working on this thing, right? Like, we have other things that we can expand to, that we can work on together. You know what I'm saying? Dylan Envoy is no longer on OpTic, but we are co-investors in Pine Park. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still going to benefit from the work that we continue to put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always going to be a friend. There's always going to be a chair for him at my table, if you may. Like, Shotzzy and us are working on different things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost a little bit of a responsibility for me to try to expose them to the opportunities that I personally have because of what I've done. So, thoughts on decreasing the prize pools and using the extra money to increase land support? No, man. No, that's backwards. That's still us making the sacrifices on a 50-50 partnership. That's still us doing 80% on a partnership. No. I only saw that because orgs already carry the load up for events. Well, look, man, no. Yeah, we all have to come out of pocket. And not everybody is able to break even on some of these things. So why would they? Everybody's fed up with putting up more than what they should have. Has CoD esports ever been profitable? Yeah. Yes, we did. We're good. In fact, everyone was doing so good that it garnered the interest of the thing above and said, yo, you know, there's money to be made here. Look, if these kids can do it, surely traditional sports business magnates can too. Just curious, because I hear a lot of esports are just not. Listen, that's a fact. It's not even about esports being profitable. It's about esports companies or esports teams, the ones that are not being profitable. And they're not, because they think that the way to gain an audience is by winning championships. So they spend as much money as they can on players, and it's not their money, right? It's not money that the business is bringing in. It's investment money. So they spend all anything that they can to get the player that they want in order to hopefully have some of those fans attached to a brand that never works. HecZ, at any point in this journey, had you wished you did anything different? Of course. But I don't regret anything. As much as some of the things that happen suck, hey, it's part of my story. It's part of my life story. It's part of the thing that I'm going to be able to remember for the rest of my life. All the mistakes, all the fights, all of that. They need to let challengers into the main bracket. Well, that's going to require a lot of unwinding on certain things. There are serious business people who put serious cash behind this thing. So they're obviously going to feel a certain way about just letting anybody that didn't put as much, or that didn't commit as much, or that didn't work on stuff as much, to do that. You know what I'm saying? Look at Gentle Mates, for example. Gotaga, right? He comes in and like next year they're going to be one of the best-selling skins in the game. And other people who didn't put they didn't put in as much as some other people, and they're going to come in and just wreck them. At least at the top two teams, challengers need a spot. Okay, now we're talking about wishy-washy. Why? Why do they deserve a spot? Just because they're the best in challengers? This is why everybody should play at the same level. You know what I'm saying? So there isn't any mistake, or they should. I think that content's no matter what for Call of Duty, because Call of Duty came in a little bit late to the game, right? Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty 5, Call of Duty 6, Call of Duty 7, all the way up to Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare... Black Ops 2 was the first time. Black Ops 2 was the first time when the developer actually cared enough to make it a point to listen to some of the stuff. And only because we had an ally by the name of legendary David fucking Vonderhaar, and other people back there too had a lot to do with it, but it was limited. That's why. That's why in other teams, like let's say Counter-Strike gets 1 million concurrents. It's a global sport. Call of Duty is not a global sport. It's a global game, but it's not a global sport. So it's easier for people like that, with massive audiences like that, with massive audiences that just like one player or one team, to explore other options. We have to build that audience first. And we have to build that audience by allowing the fans to get to know us. And by us, I mean players, not myself. All players. That's why. That's why we have to do that, because we're building still.